Welcome back. Thank you very much indeed for everything you've done for us today. I was listening in on Sue's session there, her workshop, and feedback to a taxi. It's amazing, and this balance between research and providing services, and how whenever anybody in a taxi takes part in the vote always comes out about 50-50. So it's really interesting. And I know Sarah has sent a message. I just want to say how useful I found the Carers Workshop with Sarah Chalice. And we've had feedback on all the sessions very positively. So thank you very much. Before we did go to those breakouts, we were hearing from Jessica in Albania. Jessica, you remember, was the lady, excuse me, who was very much into her gym and basketball before her diagnosis. And apparently she has managed to dial in now. Jessica, are you with us? If you want to switch your microphone on and say hello, that will automatically jump you up the queue and we'll see you here on the screen. I'm told you are with us, Jessica, but we've got so many people at the moment.
She was
Oh,
with
where
us
are you?
2 seconds ago, and now I can't see her.
Oh,
She
well,
might
if
have
she
left just in the nick of time to avoid your questioning, Paul.
Yeah, well, don't blame her. If she comes back on later, then we'll say hi to her. Great. So here's a reminder of what we've got coming up for this afternoon. Our Saturday afternoon agenda going forward is we're about to hear from Dee Smith, who those of you who were at the conference last year will remember. She's an actress and a model, and she was talking about her career then. That's body positivity, though, that she's going to talk about today. Then we'll do fundraising. We'll have our awards, 3 awards as always. That's for the group or team that's provided the most, for the person with the ataxia and the person without ataxia. Those are the 3 awards. Then Ben Spencer, 1 year on. Last year I interviewed him, and you may remember his video about how he'd gone around all the underground stations. Well, he's got a challenge for next year that I just think is absurdly difficult, but you'll hear more about that when we speak to him. We'll have the review of the day, and William Littleboy will be doing that, and then we'll close for the day. So that's what's coming up. So let us move to body positivity and Dee Smith. And Dee, you'll know, Dee has written a blog on Ataxia UK's website telling the story of her journey since her diagnosis. And last year, as I mentioned, we heard from her talking about how she became an actress and a model and writer. This year, she has chosen to talk about body positivity. So I can't wait to hear from her. Let's welcome Dee. Dee, hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, brilliant. My goodness, what is that wall behind you? What is
It's
this?
it's a horror wall that I made in my bedroom. It's like a collage.
A horror wall in your bedroom.
Yeah, because I'm a huge horror fan, and so that to me was like
So if you're waking up in the middle of the night, you put the light on and have a look at maybe Munch's screaming face there behind your shoulder, and that calms you down. You go back to sleep.
horror doesn't scare me. Like a lot of horror films are my comfort films. Like they bring me peace.
Really?
Yeah,
Hey, there's a job for you as an actress. Get a job on a horror film.
that's you know what? That is the dream, and we'll do it.
Well, oh, great. Look forward to that. Right, Dee, off you go. Body positivity. Share with it.
So let's see if I can get my slides up. Yeah. So body image from I think body image matters constantly from when we're I think kids to when we're adults. But body image for disability isn't often showed or presented. Next slide. So the beauty standards of 2024, and I think they've always been somewhat the same, and this is coming in from a model actress standpoint and seeing media and the world around us, is that it's very one-dimensional. And it's very like fake beauty and editing photos and overtouched makeup and very skinny women, and even those that are curvy in the right places, and a lot, actually most, probably say, I'd say a good 99% are able-bodied, or they look able-bodied presenting. So, like, you know, you can think of like the biggest A-listers or like red carpets and things, and it's like I'm the ones you can think of, like actors, musicians. They're all very able-bodied. They fit a stereotype, and they're beautiful. And that brings me on to the next slide. So I took let's say experience influence from the Met Gala, which was this year, and obviously everyone knows it's a big fashion and beauty event in America, but people come from all across the globe to be a part of the Met Gala or to like walk the Met Gala carpet. First of all, it's not very accessible when there's stairs, so that often puts us out of the play. But all the big celebrities you can see, so you've got Kim Kardashian, Tyler, like big actors like that. I literally looked at all the Met Gala photos, and they all looked exactly the same. They all fit a box of what is considered beauty, and there was not one physically disabled or in a wheelchair disabled actress or influencer present, like not one, which is disheartening. But when you look at the media, you know, there's not really much representation for us. So next slide. So before I was disabled, obviously I was diagnosed with FA at 18, 19. I was very physically fit and very active, and as you can see, I fit the beauty standards, if that makes sense. I was skinny, I was physically fit, I was active, you know. And in body image and body positivity, which I'll use quotes, we're not in full body positivity yet, but I fit those standards, as you can see. You know, it would have been great at the Met Gala. Next slide. And then it changed. Obviously, with a disability, my body changed. And I will tell you something, a lot of people with ataxia might relate to this. My weight didn't change. My weight has always been the same, 9 stone 3. It's never gone up, never gone down. But when I started using mobility aids and when I started using a wheelchair, I noticed my weight sat differently and my body sat differently, and I looked a lot bigger than I was or that I used to be, even though my size stayed the exact same because of my disability. Next slide. I'll tell you why, and this is what a lot of people, and it's took me a long time to kind of understand this, because I know every disabled person here will have insecurities with their body that stem from the disability that they can't really control. So for instance, when you sit down, naturally you will have stomach rolls. You can be the most toned person in the world. You can work out 24/7, be ripped, be shredded, whatever. But when you sit down, you will always have rolls. Always. Because you have something called organs. Especially women, we have something called a uterus, which makes we have rolls. which it makes us look bigger than we are, because standing and a lot of clothes and a lot of photos and a lot of things in the media that we'll see are obviously able-bodied people, so they're standing, so their bodies will look way different than us if we're sitting or we're using a mobility aid. So if we're using a walker or a wheelchair, our backs won't be 100% straight
Was in my own home. But before
because we're focusing
I
on.
was told that you look at it and think, no, but my bed is
Is it okay? Is everything okay? Yeah. Yeah, everything all right? Just checking.
Yeah, all good, Dee. Please carry on.
Cool. And obviously, like we're saying, when we're using walking aids, so it could be a walker, could be a wheelchair, our backs aren't naturally straight. It's not comfortable, is it? So we tend to kind of slouch or arch our backs to move forward, and our bodies take on a completely different form and they adapt to our disability, and often that's not represented in the media at all, as you saw. So we don't fit that look that's taken from an able-bodied actor's position, and then we kind of feel like, oh, I'm fat, oh, what is wrong with me? Whereas nothing's wrong, everyone has that, they just don't show it because it's not represented. Next slide. So I want you in your head to name a physically disabled, model, actress, influencer, like actor, whatever you can think of in your head. Like, are they A-listers? 9 times out of 10, actually, no. Are they seen commonly on the red carpet or premieres or media attention that they don't have to fight for because of their disability? No. The ones I can think of and the ones I've worked with are Ruth Madeley, Chelsea Hill, Aaron, and Victoria, and they have disabilities across the board in their fashion, modelling, influencing, and acting. But again, that they're not the normal. They're not the common, like everyone sees us. It's kind of like we become the infantilization to watch, if that makes sense. We become the influence porn. Like, they will look at us on the red carpet and go, oh, isn't that cute? Look at her, she looks like that, it's great. But is it really great? Is it really helpful that in the media we aren't seeing these amazing, wonderful people? We're only seeing able-bodied people, so our body image and our mental health will take a hit because these people are beautiful and wonderful and they have all the issues we as disabled people have, but unfortunately, in the eyes of the media, it's not represented. Next slide. I had the honor, and this is what really helped me with my body positivity and my understanding, because my body image took a massive hit and I hated what I saw in the mirror. Like, I hated it. I know a lot of people go through this journey when you go from able-bodied to disabled, and your body, it changes, and it does, and we begin to look at ourselves kind of very negative because naturally we compare to others, but the others we are seeing aren't a fair criteria to put ourselves against because they don't relate with us. So I'm very lucky that I did London Fashion Week last year, and with Victoria, who does Unhidden, which are a disabled fashion brand, and all the models she used on the catwalk in Kurt Geiger Studios were disabled, and they were all different. There are limb differences, weight differences, wheelchairs, walkers, body differences, invisible disabilities, but everyone looked first of all, they look beautiful, but they also looked real. And that is what the world needs to see. Like, to me, I would rather see this than size 6 or people on the red carpet that all look the same or fit a box. I would rather see these amazing people that have helped my body confidence and will help others, because others will think, well, if they're considered beautiful in the eyes of the designer world, then I must be beautiful. Instead of seeing the constant influx of able-bodied stereotypical people, these people make us realize that, oh, we're just like everyone else and we're just as beautiful. And I want to say the guy in the orange has just done an amazing film with Sebastian Stan, and I can't recommend that enough. But again, unfortunately, that might get overlooked or might be replaced for, like, because Sebastian Stan's in it, because the able-bodied man is in it. And again, we kind of sometimes get shoved to the back, where because we don't fit those societal norms of body positivity, we then become the infantilization or the monolith. But to me, and I hope these people help you understand that you are beautiful, and because media don't, or hopefully not yet, want to show us normally, doesn't mean we don't exist and we aren't amazing. Next slide. So what needs to change? Well, that's a talk that will take years upon years upon years of change. But I really think what needs to change is we need more of us to come forward. And I know it's scary, and I know we can feel really down on ourselves. We need more influencers that are disabled. We need more people to normalize who we are, and sometimes if that includes kicking and screaming to get what seen, so be it. Because right now the beauty standards are changing slowly, but it's not going towards us quite often. It's very one-dimensional and a little bit uneducated, and it ends up hindering us more than it ends up helping us. Next slide. So it sounds awful, and I don't want to sound like I'm infantilizing any single person, but I know for a fact that body and disability obviously go hand in hand. That's something they always go together, and you'll often, as you go through a disability journey, you will often feel as though it's betrayed you in some way, and it's hurt you, and it's not the body you want. You could often feel like an imposter in your own skin, and when you look in the mirror, you may not like what you see, or you might want to change this or that or that or this, and things that are ultimately not in your control. And I think because of the media and because of everything put on us with body, it's so easy to feel as though we're less than because we aren't seen, and we're not heard, or we're not normalized in the media or anywhere really. And you need to remember, and this sounds really cheesy, but your body fought for you to be here. You fought for you to be here. Your body can betray you, but it's your body, and it's your individuality. And I don't know about anyone else, but I don't want to look like everyone else. and I want to sit there and go, oh, I fit in that category and that look, and I belong, I kind of want to be like, okay, I'm my own person. I'm beautiful, but I have insecurities, but I am who I am. And I kind of want to say, okay, I'm here. But we don't get that anymore. We don't get the not the infantilization, just we're normal, we exist, we're beautiful, we're here. We don't get that. And I would rather have equality, equity and representation than fitting a beauty standard that hurts me. And I know it hurts a lot of people try and force themselves to fit it when with their disability or the condition, it's impossible. And you need to remember social media and media itself and these actors, models, whatever, I've worked with them. Trust me when I tell you, they've been edited or it's not 100% true to what you are seeing. They are beautiful people, but social media has set the bar that high. Even they have to get touched up. So we don't often stand a chance. Like, if they're not good enough, we don't stand a chance. But you need to remember, we do stand a chance. We have to kick and fight and scream to be there. But don't let anything dictate who you are and what you exist as. And you need to, as long as you are healthy in yourself, I know with a disability that's a bit like up and down, but as long as you are 100% healthy in that time period for yourself, that's it. You feel beautiful, and you should. And I think the strongest message I can tell you is please, please, please don't compare yourself to these able-bodied, highly skilled, had makeup and hair done and edited people you see on carpets, because even they can't compete, so we can't. Just, be comfortable in who you are. Remember, your body adapts and it changes, and it doesn't take away from your beauty. And you gotta fight and scream to be seen. And you know what? Don't ever let anyone stick you in the corner. What they say in Dirty Dancing? Nobody puts baby in the corner. Well, there you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dee Smith, how about some jazz hands? Thank you very much indeed, Dee. Thank you. Dee, before you go, Richard's very grateful for what you've just said, because he says now he knows why he always looks better when he's lying down. So
Same.
there you go. Yeah. I look much better when I'm lying down, but in the dark, especially if you turn off all the lights.
Yeah.
That's the only time I look good.
Close one eye and then you close the other. You look great.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't look, I look great. Roger says, are you saying follow the example of the Paralympians?
Yes, 100%. Oh my God, yes. They're awesome. And I watched it this year just in so much awe by how amazing and wonderful they are. And they take, what society tells us is normal and says, you know what, no, I'll be who I want to be. And they're just beautiful for their confidence. Like, confidence is beauty.
Perfect. Dee, thank you so much. As always, it was great to see you on stage last year and great to see you here today. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm not sure I'll sleep tonight having seen that wall behind you, but it was a
Oh, I love it.
pleasure listening. I'm glad you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we move on and we're going to talk about fundraising. And Dan Beacon has been with the Taxi UK for the last 6 years as head of fundraising and communications. But guess what? He's leaving us. He's leaving us in mid-December. So very sadly, this will be the last time he updates us on fundraising. So for the last time, Dan, over to you to talk about Ataxia's fundraising.
Thank you, Paul. Just as a quick bit of practicality, am I sharing my PowerPoint or?
If you want
Sure.
that.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, great. So let me share screen. Has that worked?
We've got it. Yep.
Yeah, great. Okay, so I mean, there's a huge amount. It's always difficult to sort of pick a topic, but today we're going to talk about friend raising. So I haven't just made a kind of spelling mistake on this first slide, and that is around maybe identifying people who it might be suitable to make an ask of. So my job is to raise money for fundraising for Ataxia UK, and unfortunately my job is a necessity. So if you ask people out in the world, do you need to be asked in order to donate to charity? Most people will say, no, 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 I don't, asking me is pointless. I don't need appeals. I don't need to see TV ads. I will give when is good for me. Unfortunately, they might believe that, but it's not true. So study after study kind of shows that most people give to charity in response to something. So that is being asked by a friend, or it is being asked or being prompted by a TV ad or an advert on the tube. So what people like to think and what people actually do is often two different things. And out of the kind of two areas, sort of me asking from afar using a TV ad or a letter in the post versus you guys asking your friends and colleagues and networks to give, I'm sure you can guess which one is more effective. And that is when the ask comes from people that people know. So we're going to do a little bit of an exercise today, and that's something that we call network mapping. So if you imagine yourself to be in the middle here, what we're going to do is we're going to spend 30 seconds quickly thinking about people in these different categories. So the first category is friends. So can you identify, you don't have to do this out loud, you can do this on a bit of scrap paper or just in your head or like notes on a phone, something like that. So I just want to give 30 seconds to thinking of someone that you might ask to do something for Ataxia UK. So that could be taking part in the big give, maybe sponsoring you if you do a bit of fundraising. Do you know anyone in these categories that owns a business or is quite high up in a business or works for someone like KPMG? These are the sort of things that we're kind of going to be thinking about. So can you spend 30 seconds thinking about someone in your friendship group who you might be able to ask to donate to support the Ataxia community? So I've set a little timer. And actually, we're going to do less than 30 seconds before we move on to the next one. So hopefully you've managed to identify kind of one person. The next thing that we think about is family. So you've got any family members that are maybe high up in business or that are keen to support the Ataxia community, given their experience of kind of knowing you and seeing the impact of Ataxia? What about your neighbours, people down your street? I know not everyone these days talks to their neighbours, but I live in London, so that's probably less for me. You can live next to people and not speak to them, but I know in lots of parts of the country, actually, people smile and talk to their neighbours. So have you got anyone on your street that maybe could support something, do something for Ataxia UK, that take part or chip in for the big give or support you with a cake bake? Colleagues, I mean, past, present, or probably not future, but past or present, anyone you've ever worked with or working with currently in close proximity with, they're also good points of contact for fundraising support. School friends, people you went to university, college or school with, maybe some of those have done quite well. Maybe, yeah, some work for KPMG, maybe some run their own business, maybe some have moved on to, sports or influencing or something like that. Maybe they can support. Hobbies, book clubs, golf clubs, any sort of hobby you can think of. These are good networks to tap into. Places of worship as well, so churches, mosques, etc. So places where you regularly attend can be good sources of support for fundraising. And lastly, sort of Rotary or Masons or anything like that. I know later people might not sort of share openly, but if you're parts of these groups, they often have charitable arms as well and do charitable gifts. So I mean, I blitzed through that quite quickly so that we weren't kind of sitting in silence, but rather than us always coming to you and asking for you directly for kind of monetary support, what this exercise was kind of designed to do was to open this up a bit more and see that actually within your kind of networks, there may be people that you're connected to who might be able to support the community. And the kind of asks that go to the community doesn't always have to be directly monetary for people giving out of their own pocket as well. So as I talked about, some people might have their own businesses. So often a lot of those companies will do charities of the year. They have kind of corporate social responsibility plans where they actually have dedicated pots of money put aside to support voluntary organizations. So those are good areas to tap into. A lot of big companies also allow their staff to do volunteering days. They allow people to come in and do things like cake bakes and stuff like that. So they are good sources to benefit our community fundraising. So thinking about those networks and who might be involved, there are lots of options. So from cake bakes in your house through to, I don't know how many of you will have seen the communications that we put out recently about hosting your own screening of the new documentary, which features Ben Spencer actually. So hosting screenings in your home or maybe in a small venue, asking people to sort of chip in and donate that way. Legacies, people giving gifting wills. There might be people who who are interested in, who are at the point of writing their wills and thinking about what gifts that they can leave to support people. The big gives coming up in December, which you will hear us talk about a lot. It's our biggest fundraising appeal of the year. So for 1 week at the start of December, anyone who makes a gift through the Big Give portal will have their donation matched, hopefully up to a value of 24,000. Not that you have to give 24,000, but any gifts that are made cumulatively will have their gift match. If you donate £10, it will become £20 with gift aid on top, so you get to double your donation. So that may be a good point for you to start thinking about, out of that network mapping and that thought process, is there anyone there that might want to have their kind of impact doubled? That's given through our website. There's volunteering, and then there's gifts in kind as well. So particularly for people with maybe businesses, are there businesses that might be able to support us, not with money, but maybe by donating their services? So someone, a graphic designer, that might want to offer their help. Does someone produce video and might be able to help with editing, things like that? So this is a really quick, I'm kind of at the end of my presentation, so it's not a particularly long one from me, but this idea of kind of mapping your networks. Often if I just sort of sat you down individually and say, like, do you know anyone that might be able to support Ataxia UK? Often that question can kind of stump people immediately and they think, oh no, I don't know anyone. But actually, when you think about this kind of map and going through these sections, I think, okay, well, if I can think of one friend, one family member, one neighbor, maybe, doesn't have to be these, this is just something to kind of get you going. Often that sort of generates results. So people think, I do know someone who's got their own business. Yeah, I'd never thought about asking them that. Yeah, maybe they could I don't know, donate a batch of t-shirts or help with the graphic design or do video editing. So there's lots that can be done with this exercise that can support and benefit the ataxia community without necessarily having to dip into your own pocket. So obviously everyone's always welcome to do that. Donation to all of our appeals are gratefully received, but it doesn't always have to be from you. You can look at your networks as a way of generating support for the ataxia community. And that is me done. So it's a really quick one from me.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Dan. And David Martin's come in and given you the thumbs up and said, good stuff, Dan. So we'll
Thank you.
settle for that. In the meantime, thank you. And here's a show of jazz hands for you. Thanks very much.
Thanks,
Appreciate
everyone.
it. Thank you. Oh, sorry. And we wish you well, of course, with your future endeavors when you leave us in December. I know you've still got a couple of months of hard work to do with us, but good luck with the future.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Now, of course, Ataxia UK is blessed with many people, the people that Dan's talking about, that we go to help support us. And so we like to acknowledge that every year by, oh, you'll need to stop sharing, there we go, by doing our awards. And the Ataxia UK Awards 2024 is what we're going to go into now. And we make 3 awards. We do 1 award for the Brancher Support Group, 1 award to somebody who does not have ataxia, and 1 to somebody who does have ataxia. And I'd like to introduce Irmak Dogan, Ataxia UK's Communications Officer, to present the first award, which is the Branch and Support Group Award. Irmak.
Sorry, Paul, we're going to branches and support groups first. I can't scroll through ours, we're going to preview.
And that's me.
Can skip ahead to the branch and support group award.
Oh, I see. Well, sorry. Okay, I thought that's what we were doing. Irmak was going to do that. All right.
No,
so,
she's doing the next one, Paul.
oh, right. Sorry. Right, those details are wrong. Okay, so I will come to you, Sue, if I may then, to do this. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's absolutely perfect. Thank you very much. So we give this award every year for the work of a branch or a support group, and we know that they are desperately valued by their members, and people gain lots of support from attending them. So this group, this award was triggered by a very sad event when the son of the founder died suddenly 12 years ago, I believe on the eve of leaving home for university. After he died, he was found to have had Friedreich's ataxia, but they were unaware of it before he died. None of our family had ever been aware of. Oh, hang on a second. I think we've got somebody with a microphone on. Let's see if we can. I'm going to take that off.
I've sorted it, Sue, carry on.
That's all right, I'll carry on. So after James died, he was found to have had Friedreich's ataxia, which none of the family had ever heard of before. They were all devastated, and his mother, Yvette, was inconsolable. In her grief, she found there was nobody to turn to and no group to help her in her area. Eventually she was in touch with us. And in her desperation, she and her sister Vanessa decided to start their own support group in 2015. At first, there was only a handful of people, and they would meet up in the Rainham Costa Coffee. Gradually, more people joined, and I imagine the Rainham Costa Coffee found that it was a bit overcrowding and they couldn't all squeeze in. So eventually they had to find another meeting place, and they landed at the very welcoming Bridgewood Manor Hotel. Over the years, this group has grown and grown. It started in 2015 with 3 people, and 9 years later, there are about 23 regulars, and it meets bi-monthly. It's a place where people with ataxia and those who care for them can come to chat over a coffee and interact with people who are dealing with exactly the same problems. This group has members of all ages, some in wheelchairs, some not. Some are badly affected by their ataxia. And of course, their dedicated carers are also there. But it's definitely not a morbid gathering. There is so much laughter, and there are funny stories and friendliness, and of course, understanding. As the group has grown, it has raised money in different ways for Ataxia UK. However, just as importantly, they enjoy the social get-togethers and the WhatsApp group that allows them to share a lot of laughter as they learn about one another's different type of ataxia and how it affects people's lives. One of the group's members said, "I can honestly say that these meetings lift our spirits and are a joy to take part in. The group leaders, Yvette and Vanessa, have been instrumental in keeping the group going for all of these years. And as we know from the many nominations that we receive from the group members, the dedication that they bring to the group is extremely valued. Therefore, it is our pleasure to award the Branch and Support Group Award for 2024 to the Raynham and Gravesend Support Group. A certificate will be winging its way to you, as well as a gift voucher to spend on your next gathering or Christmas lunch. And I hope that you enjoy the celebration on the back of it."
Thank you, Sue. Sorry, I
There
just
you
want to
are,
say that.
Vanessa.
I was nearly in tears when you were saying about James, because it all came from that. My sister's been incredible. But sorry, I just
Yes.
want to say thank you to all the group members, because Yvette and I have lucked out. They are just amazing, each and every one. So sorry, I just had to say that. Thank you.
No, I wanted you to speak, and it's really nice that you've been able to join us. And, you know, I do remember back all of those years. In fact, I think I heard about James from a newspaper article before I'd ever spoken to Yvette. And I just thought how terrible it was that somebody should die in such shocking circumstances. I believe he'd been out with his friends just before he was going to leave for university the next day. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. And he died of a heart attack.
Yes. Yes.
So only afterwards was it discovered the cause of it. And although one would never wish that James had died, it is wonderful that there has been something so lovely on the back of it, and that everybody's
even
been
more
able to join
importantly,
together.
And the group members are amazing, because they talk about James as if they know him, and that's fantastic.
Yes, yes. Well, it keeps his memory alive as well, doesn't it?
It does.
So there's the group members. Look, that's wonderful. At some of your events, and that it should be going on quite so long, and that everybody should have quite such a good time. And we did get quite a number of tributes from members of the yes. That was how I was able to put that tribute together. So that's wonderful.
Well, thank you, and thank you on behalf of Yvette and myself. That's fantastic.
Well, thank you for all the work you've done, and I'm sure your group members are very grateful to you.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Can we have some jazz hands for Vanessa and the group? Thank you very much. Our way of saying well done. Brilliant. Thank you. And let's hope they toast James when they have that next get together or party that the cheque will be used for. Well done to them. Now let's move on to the Ernie Heath Award. Now, this is in memory of Ernie, but also it pays homage to his wife, Wendy. So Ernie got involved with Ataxia, or as Friedrich's Ataxia Group, as it was called back then, when his wife, Wendy, was diagnosed. He became involved and then became chair of the Friedrich's Ataxia Group, and then helped the transition into FAG, Friedrich's Ataxia Group, becoming Ataxia UK. He was a very wise leader, and he gave so much to Ataxia UK, and that is why we have this award. And now we are going to hear from Irmak, who's made a video. Irmak works on the communication team at Ataxia UK and is going to tell us more about this year's winner. Irmak.
Anastasia's speech.
Sorry, what's the issue?
We can't hear.
Okay, let's give that another go.
Into contact with a Taxi UK
Yep.
as a result of her mum's disease, and they've been friends since 2012. The winner has organised numerous fundraising events such as cake bakes.
We've lost the sound again.
She uses these events to
I know what the problem is. 1 second, let me reshare again.
Take it back to the beginning, Anastasia, I think.
I know what the issue is. I just need to share the sound. So let me click that one extra button and let's try it again.
Hi everyone, it's Amy here, and I hope you're enjoying the conference because a lot of effort was put into it. Here comes the big thing. The winner of this year's Ernie Heath Award is someone who came into contact with a Taxi UK as a result of her mum's dyslexia, and they've been friends since 2012. The winner has organised numerous fundraising events such as cake bakes, pub quizzes, even a Give It Up for Lent challenge. Incredible, right? I know. As well as raising funds, she uses these events to raise awareness in her local community, and she always frequently is asking for merchandise to sell. So she's amazing. She does so much. On social media, she's very active, and in support of a Taxi and a Taxi UK, she often posts stuff and never forgets to tag us, which is amazing. She was active in support of this year's International Taxi Awareness Day campaign as well, and we don't even have to ask her, she just posts stuff and tags us. So what I'm saying is she's really eager to raise awareness and always volunteers to help us. Thank you so much. We're really, really, really grateful to have you. She wrote in the magazine recently, I'm going to have to read this, give me a moment. I love raising money for Taxia as well as awareness because some people just don't know or haven't heard about this illness. And she's right. It's such a rare condition and not a lot of people have heard of it. So the fact that she's trying her best to raise awareness means so much to us. Here comes the big part. The winner of the Ernie Heath Award 2024 is Chelsea Higgett. Well deserved. And here's a video that Chelsea did for us a couple of years ago to raise awareness. We hope you enjoy it, and well deserved. Bye everyone.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, it's Amy here, and I hope you're enjoying the.
Sorry.
Hi, everyone.
There's Chelsea joining us just now. Just before we go into
Hi,
the video, we
thank
can
you
see up
very
the
much.
top. Chelsea, we'll
See
speak in
that.
just a moment. Let's have a look at the video, shall we?
Because my mum
That's what I
has
did before, weren't it?
tried to do as much as I can to raise money and awareness. Before COVID, I did annual pub quizzes in the village. I always do Give It Up for Lent. This last year, I did the Christmas cake bake at our Christmas community market in the village. This was a great day to be had. I sold lots of yummy cakes and sold lots of merchandise. It was a good day and Mum managed to come along with me. We raised a great amount of £267.41. I really enjoyed it and can't wait to do again. My mum now is 55 and has been suffering with ataxia for over 20 years. This is just a little talk that Ataxia UK have asked me to do with our personal experience with ataxia. I hope this raises a lot of awareness and it gets the message about. And the thing is, Mum always keeps on, she never gives up and she always keeps smiling. Love you, Mum.
Lovely.
Thanks for watching and I hope this helps. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And there's Chelsea and her mum there. Where do we find you? Where are you today? Oh, you've muted your microphone. Can you unmute your mic? There we go. Where are you today?
That it. We're in Wales at the moment and it's freezing.
Oh, sorry about that. What are you doing in Wales? Day out?
All right.
What?
We've got a caravan in by Towin, so we've just come for the weekend. Yeah.
Oh,
It's sunny,
brilliant.
but it's cold.
Right. Just the two of you? You got more family there?
No, Dad's here as well.
Dad's here.
Dad's here as well. You might have to get behind here so they can see you.
Come on, Dad, where are you?
He's there somewhere.
Oh, there he is.
Hello.
Hey. Hey, you must be very proud of. Yeah, I'm saying you must be very proud of Chelsea, Dad.
Really good, isn't it?
Yes, I'm very proud of her. She's really good. Really done a lot for charity and all that, like Ataxia charity.
Looks
And
after me,
looks
don't
after her mum all the time, like and doing all these events. Like really good. Really proud of her.
Oh, that's lovely. How do you stop each other? I'm not going to say fighting with each other, but getting on each other's wick when you spend so much time together. How do you diffuse any upcoming arguments?
We're all right. Yeah,
We don't
we're all,
seem
no,
to-
it's fine. It's, we
No.
all get on, don't we? And
Yeah.
yeah,
We just have a laugh and
that's it. Carry on, isn't
carry
it?
on.
Really,
and It is
Do
what
what
it
you
is.
do.
There's nothing we can
Yeah.
do. So
Mm.
it's hard at times, but you just have to
Have to
get
carry
on
on.
with it. So
Yeah,
I don't know what I'll do without Chelsea and Alan. So they're amazing.
Yeah.
So
Well, Chelsea, obviously, when you were younger, you never thought you would end up spending so much time with your mum. What do you?
you don't realise.
Yeah. What do you get out of it yourself? What does What difference does it make to Chelsea the person?
Well, it's hard to see her go like downhill and how it is, but like I say, you carry on, you do.
you like to do
But
the
the
awareness.
fundraising, what I do, and to help not just mum, but to help everybody else as well, isn't it? So that's what I keep doing it for, really. And then, like, hopefully finding a cure one day, and or anything really.
Well, Chelsea,
We
we'll be
did another
sending
quiz.
we'll be sending you your
Yes,
award.
I did another quiz on Wednesday as well, just
wow.
gone, and I've raised what was it? £470 at the pub quiz. Yep. So I've got to get all that organised and sent for you. So
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, our head of fundraising's leaving in December. Maybe we should be giving you a call and get you in to take over. You've done an incredible job. We'll send the award on to you. In the meantime, Chelsea, thank you so much and congratulations. Well done. And you
Yeah,
can have a
thank you
round
very
of
much
jazz
for that
hands
anyway.
from us all.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Right, time for us now to move to the final award, which is the Matthew Law Award. And many people will be familiar with Matthew, even if it's only through the column he used to write for the magazine. An exceptional individual. He was such a supporter of Ataxia UK, a huge supporter of Chelsea FC as well. So his time was taken up a lot there between the football club and us. We're grateful that he did give us so much time. So we're going to reflect on the column that he gave. He gave us for years hints and tips about how he coped with ataxia. And so it's time in his memory now to give an award to somebody who has ataxia. And Sue, you are going to read out the nomination, aren't you?
I am indeed. One way and another, the recipient of this year's Matthew Law Award has featured very often at Ataxia UK conferences. Do you remember the naked calendar Ataxia laid bare, where a group of our young people assembled a naked calendar and caused quite a stir? So she did appear in that. And then last year, her film showing the usefulness of her synthetic voice. She's always ready to rise to a challenge or try something out. She was our poster girl in Ataxia UK's Exeter awareness campaign and has been at the heart of the Exeter branch for many years, the first branch to win the branch award. She has organised get-togethers such as accessible walks for people with ataxia in and around Devon. Last year, the branch decorated a Christmas tree as part of the Princess Hay Festival. She's been a key part in many fundraising efforts, working alongside her family and fellow branch members to support the ataxia community. Beyond her work with the branch, she has contributed to Ataxia UK in many ways. drawing our attention to a medical situation that needed publicising. And then she's been part of the services advisory group, helping shape the work of our services team. Her It Works For Me sessions at conferences, with their honesty and openness, have been a great source of support to others. She also started up the online speech therapy practice group, which has been going strong for quite a long while now, and allows people who have completed the Ataxia UK speech therapy course to practice together and preserve their speech for longer. The winner of this year's Matthew Ward Law Award, I am delighted to be able to say, is Rebecca Downing. Rebecca,
Hooray!
thank you for your
Hooray!
amazing spirit and commitment to people with ataxia. We are so grateful for your contribution. You should be proud of the inspiration that you give to others. So thank you, Rebecca, for everything that you've done.
Becky, Sue, Paul, Becky wanted me to say something on her behalf. Would that be
Please
okay?
do. Oh, that'd be lovely, Pauline. Thank you.
Okay, I was a bit nervous, so I'll have to read it out. So a huge thank you from Becky. She was only 18 when she applied to start up our support group, having been diagnosed with Friedreich's ataxia at the age of 16. But it shows how much she wanted to provide support for other people like her and families and friends. The group itself had its first meeting in February 2006, so we've been going for the monster time of nearly 20 years, which is brilliant. Over the years, the group has provided support, advice, friendship, and a lot of laughter to many group members. We offered activities such as bowling, boat trips, pottery painting, pub meals, and outdoor rambles. Along the way, we were beneficiaries of the Exeter Mayor's Chosen Charity. We took part in the Southwest Regional Conference. And when COVID struck, Becky continued to keep us going through the Zoom meetings, which were fantastic. Today, we meet in person. I don't know why I wrote that. And via Zoom, we meet in person for our get-togethers, and via Zoom also. And we're looking forward to our next forest ramble in October. Christmas meal in December, and the charity Christmas tree festival in Exeter, which is always good fun. So Becky coordinates and arranges our meetings with and the WhatsApp group, and an Instagram page. I've missed all these things out. And what? And a Facebook page. So what I wanted to say is Becky coordinates and arranges our meetings with diligence and determination in spite of her considerable challenges. But above all, she does it all with love and compassion. So I'm very proud of her.
And so you should be.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all proud of her. Magnificent. And would you present the award? There it is. And some flowers. We present it every year. You can drink out of it. You can put flowers in it. As I mentioned last year, you can have it under the bed for emergencies during the middle of the night. Entirely up to you. But it is beautiful. It's engraved, and it shows how much we love you. Becky, congratulations. And thank you for everything you do.
And this is Ava.
Hi, Ava. Ava, this is how we say thank you. And well, oh, right. Hi, Ava. Oh, my goodness. We do this jazz hands. That's our way of clapping here. You have got all the love of the world. Thank you so much.
I think we should also note the guinea pig is a member of the support group as well. Am I correct?
Really?
Guinea pig's part of the support group as well.
Maybe the guinea pig could do a little session at next year's conference.
Yeah. How many have you got now? How many? 8 guinea pigs.
That's a zoo. That's not a home. 8? I'd love to see your feet, Bill. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you, Becky. Thank you very much indeed, Ava, as well. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
And congratulations. That's brilliant. Now, let us turn our attention to a guy that I had the pleasure of meeting last year at conference, Ben Spencer. He's a former bouncer. He had a stint as an ambulance driver, a software director. He's done, well, almost everything. And this picture you can see here with his bonnet on, he's obviously got a tube train going past him. He decided to visit all 272 of London's tube stations. There was a serious side to it. It wasn't just a challenge, but it was to show people just how inaccessible some of those tube stations are. And each stop represented a victory over the obstacles that ataxia can throw in people's ways, things like escalators, ramps, etc. And it attracted lots of media attention. More people found out about ataxia, which is the whole purpose of it. And it raised awareness, especially about transport issues for people with disabilities. Well, in the past year, he's been working with Victor Eltzer from Ataxia UK, and they have decided to make a documentary about his life, his ataxia diagnosis, and brilliant fundraising and advocacy work. So let's have a look at the trailer for that film, which is called Unconquered.
I'm having some issues. Let's go to questions and I'll bring that back afterwards.
All right, we'll get to it when we can. Ben, thank you for joining us. I remember when I saw the trailer for this, I thought, wow, that's incredible. What are your hopes for this documentary?
I think if it achieves anything, it is more awareness of ataxia, but specifically the long journey people go through to get diagnosed.
And how does this partnership work between you and Victor?
So just before I forget, I just want to say thank you to Victor for all his hard work on the film. We spent 18 months doing it, and he had to put up with chasing me around London quite a lot.
So you work well together then?
Yeah, we would talk about some topics beforehand. He would throw the camera open and I would get talking. Then we would film some of the mad adventures I did. And then he would also make sure that I had input into what I wanted to share about ataxia. But I think another thing that makes this documentary different is it also focuses on the people around the person with ataxia and their lives and how it is affected from family to friends. And they're often forgotten about when we talk about ataxia.
Very true. How difficult was it for you physically making the film?
Well, the more I mentally think and talk now, I get quite fatigued. So from a talking point of view, it was quite challenging. But the things where we were doing the physical activities, that wasn't difficult.
And in the film, we find out about your love of photography or poetry or whatever. Is it, as somebody with ataxia, is it sometimes a bit challenging to let that creativity come out?
It is starting to become more challenging for me now. So I've had to swap to a very lightweight camera, and I have to find ways sitting in my wheelchair to adapt to taking pictures. There's more misses than hits these days, but it doesn't stop you getting out and enjoying it.
Okay, we'll talk more in just a second, but we can go back to that video now and have a look. This is the trailer for the film Unconquered.
It is so easy to become fed up with the daily trudge around the tube network that we forget the wonder it provides. Easy, that is, until faced with the prospect of being cut off from so much of what the underground offers. When Ben Spencer was told he may not be able to walk by the end of the year, he set himself a challenge, visiting all 272 underground stations.
Ben Spencer has been doing an amazing job visiting all of the London Underground stations whilst he's still been able. And now he's going to go as far up Snowdon as he can, all to demonstrate the problems there are around accessibility for people who have limited mobility or are wheelchair users. We should create an accessible world for everybody.
I think through the support groups and then interacting with people with ataxia, there was something about being able to see that people could take control of the unknown aspects of ataxia by just being resilient. And I don't know if I'd be here. I generally don't. I think that virtual support group might have saved my life. It turned me around. You know, outwardly, I was this strong person laughing and coping with it all. But in reality, I wasn't. And yeah, that was just talking to those groups and that people once a month and hearing their stories and seeing their courage. That was really good.
Wanted to let you know that I made it to the top of Snowdon, and whatever you do, never give up.
Wow, what a lovely message to finish with. I mean, it's just incredible. And of course, we have the full documentary now, and if anybody wants to screen the documentary, you can go online to Ataxia and book one of the screenings and let us know about the fact you're having ataxia. What a wonderful inspirational story to spread the word about ataxia. What was the reaction of the able-bodied climbers climbing Snowdon at the time, Ben, when you were doing that? Were they just like open-mouthed or what?
So they were, but I had a cunning plan and I'd printed loads of flyers, and on one side it had all about ataxia, what it was and the charity and how people live with it. On the other side, it basically had give us your money. And so we were literally, or the team around me was literally just fly posting everyone going up and down that day. And because it took 16 and a half hours, we managed to hand out thousands of flyers, and that helped us raise quite a bit of money as well as awareness, which then kicked off the whole TV, radio, and we got into papers around the world, which spread awareness again.
Oh, well done, you. I mean, climbing Mount Snowdon as an able-bodied person is tough. Doing what you did is beyond anything I can understand in terms of resilience and determination. And if I were you, I'd have gone, job done, thank you very much. I'll sit on the sofa for the rest of the year. But no, not you. You have come up with something that, if possible, boggles my mind even more. What are you doing next?
Well, I started training for this a little while ago, and there's been a lot of planning. I did the London Marathon this year as a feasibility study, and there's also to raise money for ataxia. And well, I have a map to show you all.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come up any second now, technology willing.
Oh, great. Okay, let's see if we've got this map. Who's got the map to? Oh, here we go.
So, well, we're waiting for that to load.
There it is.
Yeah, my challenge next year and what I've been training for, and I'll tell you how I've been training in a minute, is to be the first person in a wheelchair to push across the Alps.
No, Ben, I mean, there's the possible and there's the absurd. This is absurd. You're going to become the first person, we hope, in a wheelchair to get right across the Alps. How is that even possible?
So I train every few days, and at the moment I'm training with a bunch of able-bodied runners, and we do 10Ks in Battersea Park in London, and I train at loads of other events, and I just keep pushing and pushing. And so far, I've also started, as part of this, but also as part of another awareness campaign, to push my wheelchair along every single tube line, to revisit the tube lines, but this time to highlight how many are inaccessible. And I just want to give a shout out. I'm getting emotional now. I just want to give a shout out to Simon Tozer, who I met at conference last year. I see him waving there. He did the first one with me, which was the Waterloo and City line, which is a line that runs from Bank in the City of London to Waterloo train station. So I was wheeling along and he was burning rubber on his mobility scooter. Touch and go with the battery would last, wouldn't it, mate? Yeah. And then I did the Northern line with a friend of mine who I met through the running group, and he's got a spinal injury, so he's also in a wheelchair. And that was a 92-kilometer push that took us 19 and a half hours. I was out for a week after that. That was a bit much. So yeah, it's training. I'm hoping that, well, actually that reminds me, I need to speak to every one of the 80, 90 people on this call today, because this is one challenge I can't do alone. There is a small issue around carrying food, water and camping equipment. And unfortunately, my partner's scared of heights. So I'm a driver short and a vehicle short. So today I'm asking conference and every person with ataxia to see if they can get in touch with Ataxia UK. We'll put out some information, hopefully soon, about what I need in order to complete this challenge. Don't get me wrong, nobody's pushing me. I'll be pushing myself the entire way, but I will need a support team. So that's my ask of everyone. Please help.
If people do want to help you, they'll need to know when you're doing this to see if they're available. What's the timetable?
It's roughly at the moment, it's June 25. I expect it to take around 14 days. So if people want to help, they don't need to commit to the whole time. So if they can be there half the time and we can get more than one set of teams, that would be great. But with my social media presence and with the things I've been doing on TV, including French TV lately, I'm hopeful that we can make this go global and really raise the bar for ataxia.
Not many travel lodges or Hilton hotels up there in the Alps. What are you going to do at night? Is it pitch a tent or what?
Yeah, it's most likely going to be camping. There aren't going to be food or water stops available. So that adds to the logistics, hence the need for help on this one, folks. But we're going to smash it.
Oh, fantastic. And you were in the media this week, Ben, also. And again, it's great to see the word about ataxia spreading. But this time you were talking about the dumped e-bikes. Why were you asked to talk about dumped e-bikes?
So quite often when I'm going to training or going around London, there'll be bikes all over the pavement that block the ways, not just for people with ataxia, but anybody with disabilities, including people who can't see very well. And this time I just had enough. I got to a pavement and I was crossing the road and the drop curve was blocked. And that meant I couldn't get up and it was dangerous. So, well, luckily I was with my partner and we found a way to get up. And I just made a Twitter video on the spot. And I just called out Lime Bike and I called out the Mayor of London to get this sorted. And the Twitter video went viral. So then the media sort of descended, and I had quite a few interviews with the media, and I turned down a lot of them because I have got a rule now. If somebody wants to interview me, they have to mention ataxia.
Good for you. Great. Well, I mean, that's sensible. You know, even if I'm asked to interview a movie star or something, or a TV personality, it's always you have to mention the program or the film or the album if it's a singer. So why shouldn't we do that? Embrace it. That's great. It's not, you're not being horrible in doing that. That's absolutely fantastic. If they don't want to play ball, move on. Yeah. Before you go, you have got all this going on, and you're also going back into the world of work. What is it going to be doing?
So I've been looking for a job back in software, and I was talking to the BBC, and I had some interviews with them, and then an assessment day that I passed. And now I'm just waiting to hear about which team I might be joining. So fingers crossed, next month I'll be starting with them.
Wow, so we're going to be BBC colleagues. You'll be getting your BBC email address. We can chat to each other. Fantastic. Ben, I mean, obviously, it's incredible talking to you. I've got some messages here. Sharon says, what? You don't do things by half, Ben. And you've got your first helper as part of your team. Phil Bosworth says, I'll defo help, Ben. There you go. Oh, he's giving you jazz hands. Let's all give Ben some jazz hands. Thank you so much, Ben. Well done. Keep it going. Fantastic. Oh, wow. Very, very special. Now, that documentary that we showed you the clip from is now finished. It's good to go. And we're encouraging all of you to arrange what we're going to call watch parties, where you put it on to raise awareness, invite people. You can do it in your house. You can do it in your local town hall. You can hire the local cinema if you want. Hire the Albert Hall, whatever you want to do, and show it. Friends, family, whoever. So if you want to receive the screening link, it is available. Head over to the Ataxia UK website. That's ataxia.org.uk, as you know, and then put a / Unconquered. That's the name of the movie. So it's ataxia.org.uk / Unconquered. Sign yourself up, host your premiere. Thanks again, Ben. Well, we're coming towards the end of the day, and it's time for a bit of a summing up. We'll do that with Sue, the CEO, but also with William Littleboy, who's now in his second term as chair of Ataxia UK. So, William, I can see you there. If you could unmute your microphone, I'll hand over to you first, and then we'll go to Sue. Your reflections on the day. We'd love to hear from you, William. Thank you.
That should have unmuted me. I'm always kind of very impressed with the virtual conference, because we get to meet and hear from members of the ataxia community who've done some fairly impressive things despite the disability. And it always makes me feel, frankly, I should have been doing a bit more myself, but I don't beat myself up too much. But it was very good, for example, to hear Ben talk about his kind of crossing of the Alps that I imagine would be even better if he did it by elephant rather than wheelchair. Good luck, Ben. Wish you very much all the best on your endeavours, and grateful that you are able and tenacious enough to do endeavours like that for a taxi. It's been really quite an optimistic year for us, as we mentioned earlier at the start of the conference here. We've had 3 new drugs approved, all of which help on the mission of the taxi in terms of promoting and supporting research into ataxia. It's a field that continues to hold more kind of secrets the more that we discover about it. But certainly we feel as though we are building the sum total of our knowledge, and we're applying the science we know increasingly well over time, so that we, the Board of Trustees, remain optimistic for what we're able to do following the research, and it bodes well for the future. I would like to thank all of the people who have been involved, not just in undertaking the research and all of the activities associated with that, but equally fundraising and awareness raising about ataxia, which, as I said, we've had particularly impressive kind of achievements this year, but about which the board is very grateful and would like to thank all of the people that have been involved. Equally, thank you again, Paul, for your support and for hosting the conference this year. And I'm sure we'll be in touch with regard to future events that help to promote awareness of ataxia going forward. Thank you very much for your help and support, and thank you everybody who has been involved in Ataxia UK over the course of the last year. It's been successful for us. Progress on many aspects of what we're trying to do remains slow, but that is because the subject matter is so complicated. And if there were easy answers, we'd have found them already ready. But notwithstanding that, the help and support and the efforts of all those people involved in Ataxia UK is greatly appreciated, and look forward to your continued support next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, William. Thank you so much. And you've started something now. I've had a message from Richard saying we're going to change Ben Spencer's name to Hannibal Spencer, since your suggestion about the elephants. And Ben, please don't take up William's advice, because your support team clearing up after that behind the elephant. No, I think that's just a step too far. Well done, William. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anastasia has put the link in the chat box, incidentally, to Ben's video, if you didn't catch it when I mentioned it. Now for her thoughts on the day, let's go and join Sue again. Sue. Oh, you need to unmute your mic. There we go.
I have to say, I think our chair has said it virtually all. I think that we are in the middle of an optimistic period. I've been trying to get a specialist nurse in situ for many years, and to be just about to achieve it at this point is a wonderful situation. We are really keen, and I'm very excited to see what the product of having this specialist nurse is going to be. But I think that for people in the Southwest, people belonging to, in fact, Rebecca's support group, they hopefully will notice a discernible change in the quality of their care. And all of these drugs beginning to come through for approval, that is very hopeful, but it does bring with it a weight of work for staff at Ataxia UK. And the message, I think, from within Ataxia UK is we are all very stretched, and please be patient with us. When I came to this organisation, we only had 8 staff. And although we're very shortly to go up to 22, believe me, there isn't a lot of spare time. People are working so hard, and we have to be so grateful for the effort that they make. But what will relieve the situation is if more people give us money, if people take Ben Spencer's efforts and run with them and use his film to raise money. If people are prepared to take advantage of the technique that Dan has shown them today to raise money, exploring your networks. And clearly you can't go back to the same people every year. We know that. But on the other hand, everybody has somebody they can ask to give something. And we've presented you with an idea on a plate to display a documentary, and you can go around and tap all of those people and say, come to the documentary, and how much it is to get in. So there are ways that you all, if you are not doing so already, and if you are already, we're grateful. But if you are not doing so already, there are ways in which you can participate in the collective endeavour. Give us the resources to get these drugs approved. Give us the resources to employ more specialist nurses, and ultimately give us the resources to help us to help you meet the challenges that we know you experience every day. So
Thank
there
you,
we
Sue.
are.
Wonderful. Thank you. Now, as we come towards the end, feedback is so important. And usually when we meet in person, there is a form on your table and we ask you to give you feedback. So what's going to happen is Anastasia is going to send everyone an email, and she'll be asking for feedback on that. Anastasia has also put up another link for donations there. You'll see that in the chat box. But in terms of your feedback, that will come via an email later. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you to everyone behind the scenes who's put so much effort into getting today off the ground, and for it being so wonderful. Thank you to all our guests. I've learned a hell of a lot. I hope you have too. It's time for us to say, for the 2024 Ataxia Conference, roll credits.